Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be just doing a quick room tour, just like this says here. If you're interested, please keep watching. So starting off really quickly, you want to make sure that you have a lamp and a mat. The mat that I have is Sailor Moon on one side. I flipped it over for filming purposes, but you can also use one of these. They are like dental bibs online. You can also get them from like Shein, which is where I get them, and it's like $1 for 20 of them. Additionally, you're going to want to get some type of hand rest. This one's just a cheap one. It was like $2 or $3 and you can wash it, but instead I just cover it with something nice and soft like this makeup towel here. Additionally, I have an actual lamp for my desk. You want something that has plugs if you can get that. It is going to be very helpful so you're not reaching underneath your table, around your desk, or passing your clients to plug things in and out. So I recommend something like that. As far as your lamp, I have one that I use to take for clients that's rechargeable, and then that smaller one for home. And this here is for Gel X, but we'll go ahead and get in that kind of category in just a moment. Additionally, if you are going to be filming anything, I just recommend going to Amazon. One of these costs like $10. Moving on to my drawers, I have this desk riser here, and underneath it is my little like Amazon nail dust collector. You'll see it in a couple of my videos, but I do recommend that you have a dust collector. Inside here, I'm just going to go ahead and remove these two boxes so I can show you what's inside of them. But in the top shelf here, if I can move this, okay. In the top shelf, I have more of my dental bibs, which I'm running out, so I need more. Always have extra files. I like to use two different ones. So these bottom ones here are going to be for like clients' nails when I do Gel X. And then the 80/80 grits are what I will use for like acrylic or hard gel. In the back, I just carry a couple of non-essential items and little knickknacks that I don't necessarily reach for. But let's go ahead and get into what I do actually use. So inside of the first box here, I just want to show a couple of the things that I take with me or I put on my desk when filming videos or when I'm going to do a nail set. So it looks a little messy right now because I did just use it to film a video, but inside we have one of these nail brushes. I also get these online on Amazon or Shein, and you get anywhere between like 10 and 20 pieces for a couple of dollars. I recommend using them if you have clients or even on yourself, but if it's for a client, then you can give it to them afterwards. These ones that are bigger are a little bit softer, and I'll use it to dust off after doing like a dip powder method. Moving on from there, I have these brushes that I actually just got last week, so I haven't tried all three. I did try one of them out, and I have 3 sizes, so these are for acrylic, but I have an 8, a 10, and a 12. They feel really, really good. Right now, I'm just starting and learning acrylic, so I haven't invested into a really good brush, but I do know Pana is a really good brush, and so is the Cads brand, Kads. On Amazon, they also had this little 3-pack of what they call UV gel brushes, and originally I was going to get them to pat in like the polygel that I was kind of playing around with, but instead I use them to clean up around the cuticle area. They are a little bit stiffer, and because of the rounded shape, it gets in really nicely to kind of clean up those lines if you're using it for artwork. This soft one is more so just to clean up my desk. Again, if I have any nail clippings, if I'm doing any type of like dip powder, that's when I'll reach for that. I did get these on Shein. I don't remember exactly what the name is, and I want to say that they are for like eyelashes or like when lash checks are cleaning up, but if I'm going to be honest, they're really good for detail work and getting around the cuticle line too. Plus, since they're little wood ones are a couple dollars for like 100 of them, and then you just toss them out when you're done. I'm a fan of being very sanitary, so if I'm going to be doing my nails or a client's nails especially, I want something that I can use once and be done with it and toss it out. These are the nail brushes that I use. If you've watched any of my other videos, you have seen them, and I absolutely love them. The only negative is that the tops do kind of get loose over time. so they'll just kind of pop off. But if you look at this brush here, it looks pretty much brand new, and I've had them for a little while now, and they clean really easily. Moving on to other brushes that I have, if you are going to be doing polygel, this brush again by that Cad's brand is a number 10. It does have sable hair, so it's absolutely like way better than getting something synthetic. So it's really soft, it holds its shape really well, and then you have the spatula on the other end. Inside of here, I also keep these two brushes. They're Savvyland. They originally were purchased for acrylic, but I mean, just looking at them, I'm not going to use them for that. I'll probably repurpose them as like an art brush, but for now they're just in there. And then if you did watch the last video with the flames, I originally was going to use that little dotting tool, but instead I did like hand-drawn flames, and I used this little tool. So this is a Morphe brush. I believe it's a lip brush, and it came in one of the kits. I have two of them, and I use it for the scrubbing method. If you're not familiar with that method, please check out my last video with the orange ombre, and that will show you the easiest way to ombre with pigments or even with eyeshadows. Now moving into the next box, this one is my fun box. I absolutely love this one. So this has all the files that I'll take with my clients. It also has the small buffers that I will use one time and be done with. So again, a big fan of getting like little things like this that are used for like a one-time purpose, and then just tossing it once you're done. As far as any of the files here, I have one that I use, and then the other ones are shrink wrapped and still closed until I'm ready to take them with clients. So on the bottom, you want to get your tools that are metal so that they can be sterilized and wiped down after every client and before. I have a nail clipper. This is a cuticle nipper, and it's really sharp, so you can also use it to get under rhinestones. I don't know how many tweezers. So these three here, I have some in my kit, some in my bedroom. They're all different shapes and sizes, and honestly, I recommend just anytime you see them, or if you're on Shein or Amazon and there's packs of them, just get them. This is an absolutely no. It's super easy to get these, but they do slip, I find, and then you can end up cutting yourself or a customer. And I don't use that. I keep it in there. I don't know why. Moving on to nail clippers. Now the ones on the right side did cost a little bit more, but if you can see, they are straight instead of curved. They're a little bit larger, and if you were to fill them in your hand, they are heavier. You can use them for like shaping the nail tips before you actually put on the nails, so I find that very helpful. And then this one here that has like the little swoosh or the little up down, that one, it's good for the natural nail, but I wouldn't use it to cut enhancements at all, because you'd have to go like one half and the other half. When it comes to scissors, this is all a preference. I don't like the curved ones. I like the ones that are straight instead of the ones that are curved for cuticles. I would rather just go in with like these here, so an actual cuticle nipper rather than scissors and getting close. But again, that's total preference on what you like. I always have nail glue for tips. I prefer the KDS brand here. I need to get more. Actually, I only have a couple left. And then if I'm not using that, then I'm using the Young Nails brush on, but I currently have that inside of the kit that I travel with. Now, also speaking about like stainless steel and durability and being able to clean and sanitize, all of my other tools or implements are going to be stainless steel. This one is when I'm doing my removals, then I can scrape off the excess and get really close to the cuticle. And then I have two sizes of cuticle pushers. The larger one is used for men or for those that have wider nail beds, and it has a bigger scraper on the back. And then the smaller one is going to be used for those clients closer to myself that have a smaller nail bed and don't need necessarily all of that. Moving on though, I'm going to go ahead and put this away really quickly, and then we'll get into the next drawers together. So let's put that away. Second drawer is a couple of other things that I use, but not necessarily all the time. So I have a backup like charger. I have all the extra cables, my foils to remove, my nail file, In the back are some tips that I was kind of playing around with, but I don't necessarily use all the time. I do have these brush wipes, and honestly, I mean, you can buy specific wipes like I did, but you don't, you don't actually need to do that. You can just use paper towels. Under here, these are all the tips that I have. So I do Gel X like 95% of the time. I started with the Acrylic brand and then moved since then to the Nail Couture brand, which is my absolute favorite. I have a video going over all these tips, colors, sizes, lengths, and reasons why. And if you're interested, that's just a little bit further down on my page. The next one here is going to be all of the art supplies. So these foils, although super cute and really fun, absolutely you do not need. I wouldn't necessarily call them an essential. I would call them an extra, but they're fun to have. And if you don't want to draw everything, they're really like handy. Back here, I just did this review, I believe a couple of days ago, and it was on the Beetles liners that I got for Amazon Prime Day for like $2. Honestly, I'm going to go back and buy whatever other colors they have. I know they have a pastel set, and then they have like black and white, so I'll have to get that. Down here are my dupe for the Young Nails Mission Control gel pots. These are the Savvyland gel pots. I have an entire review on them too, and I recommend both these. So it's just personal preference on if you would rather have a more liquid gel. And then here are my acrylics, and yes, just cheap acrylics. I got this kit of like 40 colors, and I think it was like $12 online. This is just some distilled water, so when I'm using the acrylics, they do dry in the air, so if they start to thicken up while I'm working with them, I'll just kind of put some of that in there. But as far as nail designs go, if you're interested in learning about any of these, or if you want a video kind of more in depth about what I actually carry inside of these drawers, definitely let me know. Moving on now to the drawer that has all of the fun stuff. Besides drawing, I like to have embellishments. A lot of my customers tend to have larger embellishments, so I'll have these smaller ones that are for like my kids to play with or for me to kind of mess around and encapsulate with. In the very back here are all of the like chunky glitters or the ones that have sequins inside. And then this is my favorite glue. It is from Nail Couture as well. It's their DIY gel in clear. I believe this is supposed to be used to actually put on his form of Gel X or his 1-2-3 Go nails, but I don't use it for that. I did just start getting into acrylics, so I bought one of these little fingers. I know. I am gonna definitely recommend scooting up from this and getting like the hand, especially for pictures, but it came with extra, so that was fine. I got a really cheap like acrylic set just to kind of play with and get used to kind of my ratios. And then inside of here, I have all of my dip powders. So if you're interested in looking at the colors or you want swatches of those, please let me know. Down here is my miscellaneous drawer, and these are extras that I have and just extra storage space, or things that I don't necessarily use all the time, like the dampened dishes and my swipe solution. I have a couple of polygels in here because I actually don't use polygel very much anymore. But if you want to see a review on that or some nails with that, let me know. I also just got these iGel Beauty Dip and Dap powders. So they're similar to like the Kiara Sky all-in-ones. You can use them for dip. These here are just kind of thrown together. It's at the very bottom because all it is for me to do like some press-ons and kind of play with. This now is what my rack is consisting of currently. Again, I have an entire kit that's actually put away that I take with clients, but these are some of the colors that I play with when I am using it for like YouTube purposes. Ones that my kids also kind of play around with. I have my cards, my sanitizer, I have my prep and prime and cuticle oil, and all my Nail Couture steps for the 1-2-3 Go system, including his bubblegum gel, which is amazing. Under that, I have a couple of different top coats. This is my favorite. So Koopa has the shiny and the matte. This is a peel-off base that I just got, so I have to try it. And then my cart came with some of the top coats and base coats. This, I don't know how to pronounce it. I want to say it's Fanciest, but I could totally be wrong. But this is the brand that I use for like my base colors. I also have blooming gel and my favorite black of all time, all the colors here that I kind of play with, and then a couple of these beetle gels, but they do contain henna, so I'm getting away from using those. With the Kiara Sky dips, I did just get those in a couple of days ago, so I did a couple of swatches just so I can see what they look like. And then I'm thinking about doing an entire review video on them, but please let me know if you'd be interested in something like that. And then lastly, I do have these stands here for press-ons. If you're interested in a more in-depth essentials video, please let me know and I will get right on that. Thank you.